last summer, Mark approached me and wanted to commission me to write something for him and his studio to perform. And I've written, actually, the last time I wrote a piece for Mark was for his recital for his graduate degree back in the early 90s at New England Conservatory. I've known Mark since 1987. We went to a summer camp called Tanglewood together, and then we went to Boston University, and I was a composition major and a tuba player, and he was a performance major, and we played in brass quintet for many years back then, and then I joined Empire Brass, and a couple of years later he joined Empire Brass, and we're still playing in brass quintet today. So I have a long relationship with him. So it was difficult for me to try to decide what to write for such a long-time friend. And the inspiration for this next piece came from three sources, actually. The first was from a mentor of mine and a teacher of Mark's, a man by the name of Roger Voisin. He was the trumpet player for the Boston Symphony Orchestra, principal trumpet for over 40 years, and he was the head of the brass department at Boston University. So he taught Mark directly and taught me in chamber music and brass classes. And he has quite a history, of course, being principal trumpet in the Boston Symphony in such a rich time of contemporary music and classical music. He premiered pieces by Bartok, by Concerto for Orchestra, by Ravel, and all these composers. He won the audition to be third assistant first in the Boston Symphony when he was 16. And he played third assistant first to his father, who was playing first trumpet. His father was brought over by Pierre Monteau, the conductor of the orchestra from France. His father had actually premiered The Rite of Spring. So he came from a very rich history of music, and he had quite an impact both on myself and Mark. And one of the things he was famous for, because of the Boston Pops and Arthur Fiedler, is premiering all these lollipops, these famous short tunes, mostly by the composer Leroy Anderson. For instance, some of you may know Bugel's Holiday, which is a trumpet trio. He premiered that, and he premiered another piece that's become famous, at least in the trumpet repertoire, called A Trumpeter's Lullaby, singular, A Trumpeter's Lullaby. And he would play that all the time with the Boston Pops Orchestra and Arthur Fiedler. And so I wanted to pay tribute to him. He passed away a couple of years ago, and I wanted to pay tribute to him by writing a piece that kind of reflects his history in the Boston Symphony and the Boston Pops Orchestra. Also, last year, Mark and Lisa were blessed with a little boy named Carter, their first child. And so, me being the father of two, I know that learning how to sing lullabies is an important part of being a parent for a little child. And so I thought it would be appropriate for him to actually perform a lullaby to see how his lullaby performance has improved in the past year now, just over a year of being a dad. And thirdly, the last inspiration was known in the brass world. Different instrumentalists have different characters. For instance, the trombone players are usually the big drinkers. The trumpet players are usually known as the babies because they whine all the time that their lips hurt and that they're tired and overworked all the time. And Mark used to be one of them when he was a student, and his students are becoming real trumpet players. And so I thought it would be fitting for him to come out as a soloist and sort of sedate his trumpet players a little bit. You'll hear them crying at the beginning of this piece. And I don't know how much practice he's actually had with Carter putting him to sleep with. Well, maybe Mark's son never cries. I don't know. But if it's anything like most kids, you wake up at 2 in the morning and you have to gently put your child to sleep. And when Mark comes to work at 2 in the afternoon, he must, of course, gently sedate his trumpet studio into a feeling of confidence and security. So this piece has some sound effects of crying and, of course, Mark playing the lullaby to sort of Trumpeters